Well, hello, Chameleon Academy. Welcome to this Tuesday night office hours, which is the official way of saying you can ask whatever you want to. I am here with no agenda other than to serve the community. So this is the open office hours. This is open Q&A for chameleons. It happens every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. If you're watching the replay, just know that you can join here live and ask your questions and get them answered live. This is shown on Instagram and it is shown on the Chameleon Academy live YouTube channel. There's two Chameleon Academy YouTube channels. One of them is for the lives and one of them is for the regular videos. This is on the lives. And so I say hello to everybody. We are all, well, some of us, a lot of us are recovering from a wonderful weekend where we went and spent the weekend at Clint's Reptiles with a lot of us. And we all got to meet each other in person. And that was absolutely wonderful. Emily, I now know who this is. Hello, Emily. Oh, Emily was there. And James says, good evening. Glad to see the bifidus starting to arrive for everyone. Yes. Yes. So everybody, we are the bifidus breeding group is now, I think everybody's got their bifidus. So I guess we're on the adventure to find, see if we can breed bifidus. And if any of you are interested in F1 bifidus, most of you are saying, oh, what the heck's a bifidus? But you know what? If I do my job correctly, you'll know when they're ready. A year and a half, 2 years. I don't know. Maximilian is saying, what animal would you want to keep if you could? I love chameleons. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. I'm happy. I'm keeping the animals I want to keep. I got to say, we chameleon people are pretty lucky because we have incredible things to choose from. There isn't a whole lot that we chameleon people feel like we're missing out on. So that's actually the honest truth. I'm keeping what I want to keep. It's my chameleons. So now it says ours settled in amazingly. He's already eaten. Talking about the bifidus. We have Yvette here from Misty Mountain Fans. Now, for those who don't know, Yvette is my wife, and she runs Misty Mountain Fans, and she's one of the world's top breeders of Eurypletus fantasticus, the satanic leaf-tailed gecko. I always love when she comes here. Now, I don't have the mushroom cup. Oh no. When am I going to drink? I don't know. Oh, well. Mom's driving. Well, we're heading to mythical Molly's house. Molly is Janet's sister. And when Janet started talking about Molly, there was always this mythical air around her. And I thought she was just from legend, but apparently she is actually a real person, and I met her. So that was fun. Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. Got all these people in the chat who was able to meet each other in person. Oh, Marcia Ann finally got home at 1 a.m. last night. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's go ahead, and there's some official questions. That's what I'm here for. So, hey, I better stop yapping and actually answer some questions. Oh, but first we got to say Nick has had 6 Entomena hatched. Oh, that is so incredible. Oh, thank you so much. All right. I guess the mushroom wars are officially over. We have got a truce, and Yvette's actually bringing me water in the mushroom cup. Oh. For those of you who've been around for a while, you know the saga of the mushroom cup. And the people who are asking their questions are saying, why are we talking about a mushroom cup when I have chameleon questions? All right. So chillin' in drinking says, hey, Bill and everyone, just an update. Nematodes are totally working, keeping the fungus gnats at bay. Hey, all right. Thank you for coming back and sharing that. Okay, trying to get rid of nematodes and trying to get rid of fungus gnats, and gnats and nematodes work. All right, nematodes are worms. Only Cams is asking, Question. I live in Florida. I have camps outside in PVC enclosures with fans on top to keep the air moving. How much can I miss during the day on hot days? Why? First of all, why do you have them in PVC enclosures? If they're outdoors, I would think. I mean, whenever I've done it outdoors, I want to use screen because sun hits the PVC enclosure, it's gonna heat up and kill your chameleons. So obviously, you've been doing it for a while, so you've got this worked out. The question, but if I were to answer your question, how much can I miss during the day on hot days? As long as you want to. If you've got hot days, then misting is life saving. So yeah, mist as long as they need it. It's a cooling mechanism. There is a problem when chameleons are constantly wet, like on their surfaces and stuff. So I don't know how long term we're talking here, but if you're having just days that spike up, yeah, you just missed them. Saves their life. What is an interesting fact about chameleons you was surprised to learn? That they could be hydrated just by fogging all night. Literally, I am still surprised that is true. I'm still working on, I guess my head understands it and the evidence shows it. I mean, I've had people on my podcast and my video channel saying, yep, I do it with babies. Yep, I do it with Parsons chameleons. I've done it. I still don't understand. I guess I do kind of understand. It's just still strange. So that's something that I was surprised to learn. Nate says, special shout out to Marsha Ann for walking me through my first fecal on the phone today. Didn't find anything, but don't trust my first one. That is great. We have Nate is part of the First Bifidus program, and so he is doing fecals. And in the Chameleon Academy, if you've been around here, we do a lot with our microscope. That's a big one. I have a course specifically to instruct you on how to look for parasites, so you can do it yourself. How to buy a microscope, how to make it work, and all that kind of stuff. And so, yes, we do a lot with that here on the Chameleon Academy. So, Bill, this comes from a Mr. James Cross. Everybody say hello to James Cross. Welcome him to the chat. Make him feel welcome and comfortable. So, Bill, I'm completely baffled by the lack of parasites in our new arrivals. Do you have an explanation for this? My only guess, and this is only a guess, is that there's something about the dry season. And that isn't even, and so what James is talking about is I actually know James. What James is talking about is these First Bifidus, that's a chameleon from Madagascar. We just got them in as wild caught. We are consistently finding that they are very low in parasites. I mean, last Tuesday, I did fecals on air with all of you here, and some of you could actually see the microscope. I did 4 fecals. Only one of them had 4 or 3. I don't know. Only one of them had enough flagellated protozoa that I was going to treat it. None of them had coccidia. None of them had entamoeba. None of them had nematodes. 2 of them had a very, very low flagellated protozoa count, and only one of them had enough flagellated protozoa that said, yeah, I'm going to metronidazole this one. But this is not common for wild caughts. And James, I don't have an explanation for it. I did not expect it. And the only thing I can guess is that it's the dry season, but even that's not a very satisfying guess because these guys come from the east and the dry season isn't that traumatic in the east. Yeah, in the west, it wipes out chameleons. With Parsons chameleons, I expect this is Bill's hypothesis. I expect that Parsons chameleons are free of coccidia when they come out of brumation because they've pooped out all the coccidia oocysts and they haven't refreshed it. So I expect them to be free of coccidia. And by the way, everybody, that is a Bill hypothesis that is not generally accepted into the world out there. And I may be right. So far, I think I'm right. But if you say that to other people, they'll say, "What are you talking about?" You know, we don't like things like that. But yeah, I mean, it seems to work on the ones that I have. And so I do not know, James. It's a very interesting thing. Hey, Alpha Reptile's here. Good to see you, Mike. We had a great time at Clint's Reptiles Reptile Room for the 10th anniversary celebration. All right, let's see. Eliza Ann is back. Wonderful. Anaballistic. James, you're just that good. You already beat the parasites. Yeah. James took his to a vet's. Okay, community. We are going to have to find a way to get James to actually take that microscope out of the box and learn how to do fecals himself. That is his next growth point. And community, you need to help. You need to help him. This is a deal that I'm going to be working with all of you. I will make with all of you. Every time I get harassed for a Parsons Care Guide, we have to ask James how it's going with his microscope. Mm-hmm. That's right. I said it. I made it happen. I threw down the gauntlet. That's right. I wish I could have been there, been listening all 10 years. Yes, Mike, you've been there from the beginning. It would have been awesome to have you there. Yes, you are that. Yeah, it was. There are relatively few people who started at the beginning in 2015 with the Chameleon Breeder podcast. So yeah, that would have been really cool to have you there. But you were there in spirit. So. Justin says, "Welcome home, Chameleon Academy." Yeah, it took a while. We all kind of trickled in, but we all survived. And the very cool thing about this is, and I said this there, so most of you heard it, but how well, when we all got together, that was the first time that we had ever seen each other. All we see is these names, and everybody greeted each other like family. Clint and Leisha, they were floored that this was the first time any of you had met. And that just goes to show what kind of community we have here. And I do a lot with social media and a lot with saying how to do it. I've done Reptile Entrepreneur and stuff like that before, but I break the outreaches up into entertainment, and that's where you have an audience where people come to be entertained by you. You have a followership, which means people follow you, so they absorb your teachings or your whatever, and then they go out and do stuff for you. You're the leader. And then there's a community where people take care of each other. And I loved the feeling that I could have just walked out of the room and nobody would have noticed. I mean, eventually someone would say, "Hey, where's Bill?" But not because I'm the life of the party, not because I'm holding everything together. No, it's because you care about me just like you care about everybody else. And that is my greatest success here. And I really didn't do it. You all did it. I just created a space for it. So it was just, that was the best thing about this weekend for me. Sent you on message on Facebook. Oh, then I better go check Facebook. I'm not very good at checking Facebook, everybody. My life has been so much better since I have stopped checking Facebook. Oh, well. Wait, Stephanie's already got a snake after interacting with them? That's Stephanie. It's been 2 days. What did you get? What did you get? A hog-nosed snake. Oh, wonderful. That is awesome. Dean says, don't worry, James. I can help with the microscope. I used one back in high school once. Dean will take whatever help we can get. Oh, boy. All right. And by the way, everybody, we are just kind of hanging out and yucking it up. But if you actually have a chameleon question, put it down and just be understanding that it may take a while for me to get to it because sometimes I get distracted. Only Cam says, Bill, do you have any new additions that you would like to show us? Oh, I'll be showing that. I gotta show you my bifidus. I definitely do, but I gotta put those all together. I don't have them here. Not in this room. Although we'll see if Squishy's not out. Squishy just doesn't come out. Chill and Drink says, anyone ever simulate a rainy day for their chameleons? Lights off and misters on for 20 to 30. Yeah, we definitely do. Especially when they're new imports. So yeah, go ahead. Do it. Now, keep in mind, there comes a point where you are now just wasting water. Chameleons will sit there and they'll drink a little bit, but there comes a point where they just settle in, and they're not drinking. They're just sitting there waiting for the rain to be over. At that point, you're just wasting water. But you know what? You're giving them the rainy season experience, and you may see some behaviors when you do that because you're going to have very well hydrated chameleons, and that's the way to do it. So I'm absolutely not discouraging you. I'm just saying, don't start bragging about, well, I give mine hour-long rain showers and thinking that's better than half hour, which is better than 15, whatever. So I encourage you to do it. I think it's great. And I know I've given my chameleons, I once gave them an hour and a half shower, mainly because I started the hose and then I remembered, I've got a live show. And so I went in and I did a live show, and I didn't remember that I had started that hose sprinkling system until I was done with the live show. So yeah, those chameleons got an hour and a half. Well hydrated that day. Oh, James is feeling it. Bill, Dean's picking on me. He is only doing what I asked of the community. We will Eliza, and I think we do an unboxing live with James and help him open his microphone. We could do that. Oh yeah. How about this? We'll have James come on and we will unpack the microscope and talk about the pieces, and we'll live guide him through putting it together and doing his first microscope. This is an awesome idea. Nick says, James, first cut the tape and remove the unit, assembling the necessary components. Microscope. Thank you, Nick, for starting him off at the beginning. 10 Tornado says, I was asked to take in a surrendered veil. She never had lights, vitamins, or really any proper care. She has severe gout. She now has lights, vitamins with the food. I was told by the vet to give her waxworms and mealworms. Any other advice to help this sweet lady? Waxworms and mealworms. Those are not the most nutritious food items. Do you remember why you were told waxworms and mealworms? Waxworms are very fatty. They're kind of like candy, and they can be used to get them to eat if they don't want to eat. Mealworms. I'm not sure why mealworms. Now, you said she's never had lights, vitamins, or really any proper care. Does that mean she has MBD? Does that mean her jaw, that she can't eat normal food because her jaw is messed up? What does that mean as far as that? Said they helped with gout. I have not heard that. Doesn't mean they don't. It just means I haven't heard that. So when I have, generally with gout, there's a allopurinol. I forget what the medicine is that's used. That's the medicine I know that's used. I don't know of. The thing is, if you feed her mealworms and waxworms, it's not going to get the nutrients she needs. Those are poor nutrient feeders, and so you're going to get a different problem if that's all you feed her. So I don't know. I don't know about this. You will have to judge by the vets. Are they reputable? Have they gone through this before? Do they know what they're talking about? Or did they read it on the internet and decide, okay, this sounds good? So I don't know your vets, but I will just say I've not heard of that before. And I am concerned about her nutrition if that is her complete diet. Do you know of anyone breeding Mellors? Only in Europe are there Mellors being bred. She doesn't have MBD, surprisingly. Interesting. Okay. But as for gout, it just means she has a real hard time climbing on things. Make her a cage that isn't too tall, that she can pad around on. Big, wide. Instead of branches, have little highways that you make out of something. So wood or something that she can kind of climb up. So, yeah. So we have been come to the conclusion as well, looking for a new vet to get a second baby. Yeah. That would be, the thing is, I don't know everything in the world. And really what we discover in the world comes from people trying things out. And so what you describe is indicative of a vet, either a vet who doesn't know what they are doing and just picked something off of the internet, or a vet that's ahead of their time and is ahead of the curve and is experimenting with some stuff that is cutting edge. So it's one of those two. And yeah, we all have to be humble and realize that there are people doing things that we don't understand, that they've got a reason for it. So I am careful not to jump to conclusions when there's something that I don't understand. But I am saying that in all of my years, I don't understand that. So take that, and it sounds like you are in the same boat. So, all right, let's see. I hatched crickets unknowingly while I was in Utah with you all. Alicia, excellent. That's a great accomplishment. Hey. You guys see what you've done? Yes, you deserve it. Yeah. Clint was amazing. Yes, we had, if you guys have seen Clint's Reptiles on YouTube, Clint Laidlaw, it's his reptile room that we were at. He was there. He was wonderful. He is as nice as you think he is from his videos. He joined us for some of our events. And he gave a presentation of snapping turtles and was there throughout the entire celebration. It was so good having him there. It is good having good people in the reptile community. It's kind of nice. So I recommend, I put Clint on the list of good people in the reptile community. I don't know who is better, Clint or Janet, Emily, and Molly and their river rafting adventures. Yes, Janet, Emily, and Molly were a little bit late because they were whitewater rafting. That is a valid excuse. Zebra was the name of Luke's cave roach, if I remember correctly. Marcianne says, Stephanie is not allowed to speak with Renee anymore. Uh-oh. Sounds like there was some snake talk going on. Uh-huh. Look at that. Brett approved for us to get a hog nose. Probably won't get one for a year, though, at least. Yep. We have a lot of things happened at Clint's Reptile, a lot of personal growth. Let's see. And Clint taught us zebra is a girl. We sexed a roach, apparently. All right. That's great. That's great. Sean Eccles says, can you follow the weather and humidity that matches Madagascar? Yes, you can. You can through the apps that are on your phone, but that is a trap. Be very, very careful when you do that, Sean, because that is not what you should replicate. That is the baseline. That's what it is at the weather station, but your chameleons are in microclimates. So if it's literally 90 degrees, you measure 90 degrees, but you walk under the trees where the parsons are, it's at least 10 degrees cooler. So you can see what a disaster it is if you follow what you have on the weather apps, because that's not where the chameleons are. It's good for education. It gives you a range. You know that the baseline is 90 degrees, for example. You know that the baseline humidity is 60 degrees. But it's just a piece of the information. Don't use it as that is what the chameleons are getting. No. All right. I'm looking through. Oh, Olone Pop says, hello, all newbie here. My beautiful female just laid her first clutch of 53 eggs. Wish me luck. That sounds like a veiled chameleon. I wish you luck, sir. No, yeah. Olone Pop, do you know that I have just published a book on chameleon hatchling care? You may want to check that out. If you go to my website, chameleonacademy.com, it's big on the front page, so you can go purchase that. So chameleonacademy.com, that's a book that's going to actually, this is what it looks like. This is it, full of how to set up cages, how to feed, how to hydrate, and everything you need to know. So this may be a good research book for you to get. chameleonacademy.com is where to look for it. Janet says, at Mythical Molly's. She says, hey, Molly. Oh, yes. So Marcia Ann says, I was thrilled Clint made himself available for this. Yes, that was cool. We said that if he was in town, he'd probably be there for the celebration, but we didn't know that he'd join us in the morning and for the dinner the night before. That was really, really cool. It's good to get to know him. All right. Looking through. Nick says, I gave my wild caughts 3 gallons of water when I forgot to put the mister back on to Auto. Yes. Oh, boy. Oh, I've done that so many times. Yes. Bill, now that I have the blessing from Dave for us to get a Parsons sometime soonish, can you elaborate more on why they have seen people recommend 20-minute sessions of misting? Is this generally right? Parsons need a lot of hydration, but keep in mind that most Parsons care that you are reading is before fogging became a thing. And so Parsons were drinking all day. So now that fogging is a thing, and many Parsons keepers didn't want to use fogging or didn't want to say that they were using fogging. And so a lot of the information is skewed towards some old things. If you use fogging, your Parsons are not going to be as needy as they have in the past. James Cross is an excellent resource for how to water Parsons, how to keep them hydrated. This has me planning drainage logistics. That is still a good thing to do. For my shamrocks, my Parsons, I like to be able to just give them rain showers. If you have some of those Kaluma and even the first bifidus, everybody, Go overboard. Give them misting. Give them fogging. Give them everything overboard with the hydration. You know, just they come from an area where they like that. I want to breed chameleons. Is there a specific one you suggest keeping in mind? I've only bred crested geckos. Yes, Materic carpet chameleons. Panther chameleons are wonderful, easy to sell, except they'll give you 20 to 30 eggs per clutch, and then they will double clutch. So you'll end up with like 60 eggs. And now you've got to take care of 60 babies. And yes, that second clutch from a retained sperm may hatch very close to the first one because they do synchronize with the weather. And so that becomes a very difficult thing for especially a new keeper to work out. Unless you have gone all out and you have set up 1 cage per egg, then you are going to be in a tough situation. And then it gets really bad when the chameleon babies start fighting with each other and you can't sell them, and you have a bunch of females left over. It's like, but something like a carpet chameleon, they are they're not easy to sell if you don't have a social. Nothing's easy to sell if you don't have a social media presence. You need to have that reputation, and so you've got to work on that. But carpet chameleons have half the eggs that panthers do, sometimes less, and they're smaller, easier to keep, and they're pretty popular. So I would say carpet chameleons is a good one. Do not do veiled chameleons. Sorry, Olone Pop. You're about to learn. The reason why veiled chameleons are very tough is because when they hatch, they are on a breakneck speed to grow. And they will eat you out of house and home. You are going to be dumping crickets in there, and they are just going to be gorging themselves, and they will grow very quickly. And so you need to start preparing now for where you're going to sell them, and know that it's sometimes difficult to sell veiled chameleons because they're so cheap at shows and pet stores. And that's the reason why most people don't, your reputable breeders aren't breeding veiled chameleons, even though we love them. It's because it's really hard to sell them. And by time they've hit 4 weeks of age, they've already eaten more than you can sell them for. So it's an unfortunate thing for an amazing species of chameleon. So just start planning now as to how you're going to sell them. Unless you're like me and you just keep them all. And I don't recommend doing that. Do not do what I do. Sell them. I'm going to start having a little bit of some sale of chameleons, guys. I am forcing myself to do that. There are some chameleons that I have because I've just not liked selling chameleons. And there are some chameleons that I have because they're held back because they weren't, they're smaller. They had a kink in the tail or something like that. And so I'll have a number of, hey, you want to take a hard luck case? And then I'll have some of, this is kind of nice. So I'll get that together in the newsletter. And I keep saying I'm going to send out a newsletter, and I still intend to. But I have everybody I am doing a reset, and I do this on a regular basis. I'm trying to find that perfect flow for content creation to get what I need done. And it's not straightforward. Oh. Yes, Nate, you have a number of Parsons keepers here, and so take advantage of that. This is actually the better place. Eliza, James, Matthew, if he's sitting around. These are the people that you should talk to, because any information that's on the internet is likely old, and you don't know You don't know who did it, who said it. And when you know who said it, you don't know what conditions they were under. We've done so much. We've come so far when it comes to hydration. So just keep that in mind. NBA is saying, hello, I'm looking to get a Chameleon. If where I am is a little cooler than the normal high 60s, low 80s, what do you mean by a little cooler? What are your temperatures? And are those the temperatures in your house? Are you asking about a chameleon that would live outdoors? Where do you live? Yeah, give me a little bit more information. I want to make sure I give you the right discussion. How do I ask a question? Well, you just put it up on the chat and you just be patient because I talk a lot. I get to it eventually. James knows. Bill's a little behind in the chat. I always am. Coco the Chameleon says, Bill, can my chameleon feel my vibrations or recognize the vibrations of my voice when I speak to them? We don't know. Don't know. They can feel vibrations. We don't know by how much, and we don't know what they do with the information. So can they detect a voice in different voices? Probably not, but that's a guess. Maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe they can feel it and they don't know what to do with it. The answer is I don't know. I don't know how much we really do know about hearing. So Luke is awesome. Everybody loves it. Yeah, Luke was James 3's boy. And boy, he was enthusiastic about his roaches, and he was in the right place if he wants to find people who love roaches. Yeah, he fit right in. Let's see. All right, I'm trying to catch up in the chat here. So, okay, let me get through. Sorry if I am. Okay, I just want to acknowledge that I'm being given a hard time about the Parsons Care Guide. I just want to acknowledge that. I'm not ignoring you. I am taking the heat. Bill, I have to confess, Saturday night, Marcia, Renee, Annabelle, and I had a beer and stayed up till midnight talking about life. Oh, that sounds very cool and wonderful. Aw, I love it. But yeah, James, you're not, as far as I know. I don't know. I don't think you're a beer drinker, James. So that one beer probably knocked you on your butt. Cheap drunk. When's the next meetup, Bill? Well, the next, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Well, what we're going to do is, it was really cool seeing people in person. And so I'm certainly open to doing another meetup. And the thing is, we want to let the dust settle here. We can be very excited about it, but you can't just recreate you have to be careful about setting up another thing and expecting it to recreate what you've already done. It'll have to be something different, but I don't know. Maybe we could all meet at Clint's next year, or we could go to Legacy in Ohio, Michigan. Or I am open for discussion. Now, some of us are going to meet in Madagascar, so that's going to be in January. If anybody here is interested, I do have 2 more spaces left. If anybody wants to go to Madagascar with a bunch of chameleon people in January 2026, send me an email at bill@chameleonacademy.com and we'll talk. Wait, that wasn't root beer I was drinking? But I imagine we'll start discussion somewhere along the way about whether there would be another meetup for the Chameleon Academy, because that was fun. That was great. We had a good time, and I was very happy about how that went. So James 3 says he's never hung out with so many adults so enthusiastically in his life. James 3 is talking about his son who loves cockroaches and actually brought his pet cockroaches. Nate saying, so does the length of the rostral process, talking about first for bifidus, generally indicate the age of the chameleon? Yes. In regards to bifidus, one male has a process about quarter-inch. Now, yes, it does. It does indicate the age of the chameleon, but also each individual will have different length rostral processes, and so you can't compare two of them and say, okay, this one is older. So just like humans that have different size noses, they're going to have different size rostral processes, but they do get bigger as they get older. All right, NBA has come back. It is in my house, high 60s, low 70s. I was wondering if there's any specific kind of chameleon I would need, because I know they need a warmer environment. No, they do not need a warmer environment. High 60s and low 70s is perfect for veiled chameleons, Jackson's chameleons. They would love it. They love those for the daytime, and they would love it to get down into the 50s at night. You just put in a heat lamp so they can warm up, but then they're very comfortable at low 70s. So Jackson's chameleons would be a good one for you to consider. Even some of the Kaluma, like I don't know at what point, like the shamrock chameleons, like I got behind me, at what point they're going to want a heat lamp, but low 70s is comfort level for most chameleons. Lazan says next meetup is in 2 years. Chameleon Festivus for the rest of us in Ohio. I have the place and activity plan in my head already. Uh-oh. That means that it may be manifested. So. Janet, Emily, would love to have you. Kazukuza is here. Everybody say hello to Kazukuza. Kazukuza is our friend from Japan, and we love it when he shows up. Hello, Kazukuza. I'm afraid I have to do that. You should be talking to James and Annabelle and saying, hey, how was it? Clint will take us every year if we want, but I think it's nice to move around too, so others that can further away can attend. Yes, yes, we are perfectly welcome back to Clint's reptile room if we want to go. So, but I'm gonna, we'll let the dust settle a little bit, and then at the beginning of next year, we'll start talking again and see what everybody is thinking. Should we do yearly for real? That is certainly a possibility, and we just have to gauge. So we'll let the dust settle, and we can start talking about it after Madagascar and see what the interest level is. And I mean, I would love to have an annual get together for the Chameleon Academy. I think it's healthy for a community to have that, because it really strengthens our relationships. And so I'm definitely on board with doing that. If that is something that enough people say, yeah, let's do that. And so, yeah. And I think I haven't looked at all of the expenses. I believe we did cover the expenses of the room, the cookies, and all that stuff that we put together. So I don't think I lost money on this. So I think we can do this. So how is Dorito doing? Dorito's hanging out. Dorito's doing good. And you guys want to see? Let's see if we can find Dorito. Let's see. Dorito. There we go. There's Dorito. All right. So Dorito, we believe to be a young Umbanja. Such a cutie. Chameleons are so incredible. So that's Dorito. Let's see. I have to meet the famous Kaluma ninja. We do need Mikey Ben. Ohio could work out for me. Okay. All right. You can go in, Dorito. You've made your appearance. Should we do yearly for real? We will talk. We will talk. James says there was no dancing, Bill. We have to have dancing next. Oh no. If you've ever seen me dance, you'll know we don't need to have dancing. My Fiesta Dishware Company has a yearly meetup conference that 300 or so people go to. Well, if we've got 300 people that want to go, we're definitely going to do it every year. The cookies are surprisingly good. Yes, I had fun with the cookies. We had cookies. We decorated cookies while we were there. Chameleon-shaped cookies. So, where did you get Dorito? Justin is asking. Dorito is part of a clutch of panther chameleons that was hatched from a wild-caught female where we're not exactly sure her locale. There was reason to doubt what she was labeled as. She was labeled as Umbanja. She's probably Umbanja, but the importer did not want to sell them as Umbanja until he was sure that they were Umbanja. And to do that, you've got to raise them up. And so I said, could I please raise them up for you? And he said, what? You want to raise up my babies? I said, yes, that's exactly what I want to do. That's what I want to do with my life. I want to raise up chameleon babies and send them to their homes when they grow up. And so I'm raising them up to see what they are when they color up. And that should be before the end of the year. These are growing very, very slowly, but I'm enjoying it. But I don't know why they're growing slowly. That's the thing. But that's the story. Are you starting to see some growth with Squishy and Dorito now? Some of them are. There is some growth spurts happening with some in the group. And so we actually have 10 of them, and some of them are doing the growth spurt. Dorito and Squishy is not really doing a growth spurt. Sakshumungru says, hey, Bill, and I say, hey, back. We're getting kind of a sun glare here. The sun is coming in the window. There we go. If Coco licks branches when we bring him outside to explore, does this mean he's thirsty or possibly an exploring behavior? It is an exploring behavior. They are able, they like taste the branch, and that gives them some information. I'm not sure exactly what information that gives them, but it gives them information. So they're exploring. All right, I'm trying to catch up in the chat here. Lisa dreams of being a chameleon grandma one day. Yes, that is a wonderful thing to be. How old are they? They are, I think, 7 months. We'll have to check. I mean, they really should be adults young adults by now, at least young adults. Whew. Too much moisture can cause stuck sheds. I mean, they shed during the rainy season, so I think compromised health is more likely the culprit when it comes to bad sheds or stuck sheds. And it doesn't mean it's bad health. Stuck sheds happen for various reasons, so I think it's just a health condition. I have not seen a connection between high humidity and rain and stuck sheds. And I think that is, and when people say that, I would suggest, let me see how I can get the sun to, I would suggest you take that as a data point and not as a conclusion, because it's very easy for people to decide to blame things like that on something other than husbandry. It's really hard to say, hey, I saw this condition, it must be my husbandry. A lot of people don't do that. Abraham, I'm just starting to research the topic of chameleons as pets breeders. How should I approach the Academy materials? Greetings from CDMX. What is CDMX? Somebody help me with that. MX would be Mexico, but let me know what CDMX is. Okay, so how you should approach the Chameleon Academy materials. Okay, depends on how much time you have. If you go to the chameleonacademy.com, there is essentially a little guide to chameleon husbandry. You just start at the beginning of the guide. I mean, it really is the Chameleon Academy website is a huge bloated website that I have to fix, but it is, the core of it is actually a self-guided course on chameleon husbandry. And so I would start there. If you've got a lot of time and you want to learn not just the facts, but the reason behind it, you want a deep understanding of it, then go to the Chameleon Academy podcast. That is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all that kind of stuff. There's like 350 episodes. I've been doing that for 10 years. If you just work through your way through there, you're going to get a deep understanding, not only of chameleons and of the husbandry, but of the community as well. And so that will give you a multifaceted understanding. But go to the website, chameleonacademy.com, and just go through the self-guided course there. And that'll help you. Now, I've got a whole lot of, I mean, I guess if you count the live videos, I've got over 800 videos on YouTube. I've had to split the channels up. So I've got hundreds of educational videos on YouTube that on the Chameleon Academy channel. This is Chameleon Academy Live you're on. So you can go there and you can just jump around to the ones you like. And that's a way to do it. So that's the answer. What is CDMX? Let's see if. Yeah, let me know what CDMX is, Abraham. I want to know. Somebody hit. NBA is saying, is it okay if the Jackson's Chameleon is not in the 50s but low 60s? We don't know where the cutoff is. Into the 50s is better. Low 60s may be okay. It's better than a lot of Jacksons get, I'll say that. Yeah. Hello, Abraham. I think it's for Mexico City. Abraham, if that's in Mexico City, it's wonderful, and I am glad you're here. It's wonderful to have you. Just let me know if we know this is correct or not. Is it okay if I open my bedroom window like I usually would? It gets pretty cold outside, but inside probably in the 50s. Depends on how cold. NBA, where are you? What land do you hail from that you have these conditions? But, the 50s is fine for Jackson's Chameleon. A Panther Chameleon will survive it, but they won't be happy. Veiled Chameleon will be just fine. Ciudad de Mexico. Okay, that works for me. He's in Michigan. Okay, well, now we know why. Yes, okay. Yeah, but you keep your house nice and cool. Yep, get one of the cooler weather chameleons, and you'll be fine. And see what you just need a heat lamp for them to heat up in the morning, and that's fine. And you can get a hybrid cage so it'll hold in the heat a little bit more, and then you can control how much heat is actually there by how long you have the heat lamp on. Yes. Thanks, all you nice community. Yes, the form we abbreviate Mexico City here, Ciudad de Mexico. I used to live when I was just a little kid, kindergarten through second grade. I lived in Guadalajara. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but that's where I lived. Oh, and you see, Emily, yeah, what she said. Habla poquito de español si necesitas ayuda. Ayuda. So, Abraham, I speak a little Spanish. Something, but I need help. Is that? Did I get that right? Obviously, I speak a lot less Spanish than you. Keith Vaughn, join me in your recovery today. What exciting things about your academy? The exciting things is that we learn about chameleons. We just got back from an in-person meetup in Utah, central location, and we are working on, we have a community, we have a course, we have a live session, which you're on, and just published a book. A lot going on with Chameleon Academy, and we're starting a grassroots breeding effort for Furcifer bifidus, which is a species of chameleon that is not often worked with. So, all right, everybody, we are coming to the end of the show. I want to say thank you very much for joining me here. The next time you're going to be seeing me is on Saturday, and I'm going to have to be doing an announcement as to what the topic is. We're going to be doing a chameleon workshop, and we're going to be starting weekly topics, which start on Saturday this time. So you're all going, what? Yeah. I'm going to do things differently, trying different things. So thank you very much. It is wonderful to have Flick from Ireland, Abraham from Mexico, the Mikey Ben from Canada, and MBA from Michigan. So here we go. So anyway, thank you very much for joining me here. I'll be on tomorrow. If you want to come see me not be responsible because it's not my show, I'm going to be on the Reptile Show Reporter, which is a YouTube show. Sean McNeely, he's the one who's responsible for it. So I do whatever I want to. I'm a co-host. Anyway, I'll see you all. Bye. James 3 says, great Q&A. Glad you enjoyed it. So we had a wonderful time in Utah. This is Molly on Janet's phone, by the way. Hey, mythical Molly. Good to see you here. Oh, what is Eliza catching? Eliza is catching something. Okay. All right. I'll just leave that as part of our unspoken lore. Bye, Bill. Goodbye. Bye. All right. Everybody, we'll see ya.